everyone. Today I want to do a talk about accepting and embracing where you are, whether you're going through the flow and a very nice easy time right now, or if you're going through challenges. Either way, I want to express that wherever you are right now is exactly where you're meant to be, and I'd also like to tie this in with past lives. I ask specifically for this video that you try to keep an open mind. I'm definitely not going to force anyone to believe in anything that doesn't resonate with them, so what I'm sharing today is what I feel guided to share, and it's what resonates very deeply with me, within me. And if this resonates with you, awesome, and if it doesn't, that's awesome too. So just keep an open mind and, take a listen, and just take whatever resonates with you, and whatever doesn't, you can just let that go, and you can integrate whatever you want and leave whatever you want. So anyways, just wanted to put that out there. There's a lot of judgment out in the world, right? And it all stems back to self-judgment. So, for example, there's so many examples of this. Okay, so here we go. First one. We often judge another. Sometimes there's still racial judgment going on, racism, and there's still people that are homophobic, if you will, that have problems with people that are gay or lesbian or what have you. There's so many things that are still out there in the world, and same as religion. Sometimes there's religions that still clash and they still really hate each other. The rich don't like the poor sometimes, and not in all cases, but in some cases, yeah, they still do. And in some cases, the poor don't like the rich, and the healthy, don't always support the sick, and the sick don't always support the healthy, and there's always this non-acceptance and this judgment that happens between two polar opposite sides. And we've come a long way. I think there's a lot more acceptance in the world than there used to be, but we still have a long way to go. And that all starts with self. If you have a hard time accepting something in someone else, it's because it's bringing something up within yourself. And that's the case for everything. If there's something annoying about someone, and this can be in very simple situations as well. If there's someone that just, grinds your gears and you're like, I can't stand that person, it's just triggering something within you. So please just pay attention to that simple but very true thing. And something that I want to get into right now is blaming situations and judging situations as good or bad or right or wrong. Okay? So I have an example of this, and this is why I'm very passionate about talking about this right now, is because there is a teen pregnancy or something. I don't know how to word it properly. But basically there's a teen pregnancy in our family right now, which has brought up so much judgment from so many people. And it would be so much easier on everyone if they took a step back and saw the bigger picture, which I believe to be this. And many other people believe this. And you don't have to believe this, but stay open to this idea, okay? We choose our lives before we come to earth again. We choose our bodies, we choose our families, we choose our life plan for this time around, what our soul needs to learn and how we need to learn it, and all the struggles we need to go through. And we lose sight of that, and we forget about all of this when we come to earth, right? We forget the big picture. We're going through life and we're going through all these struggles, and we're like, why me, victim state, I'm really hurting, why is this happening to me, God's punishing me, the universe is punishing me, and it has nothing to do with punishment whatsoever. There's nothing you could ever say or do that would make the universe, or source, or spirit, or God, or any angels, or anything of that sort hate you or punish you. It's just not possible. They send you divine, unconditional love every day, all day, to your soul. And there's nothing you can do to change that. You can mess up all you want. And that's the thing. We interpret things as being mistakes, and I messed up, and I must be deserving of something bad if I messed up. And that's just not the case. There's really no such thing as a mistake, because everything we do is planned out. We do have free will. So not everything is completely set in stone. I think what happens is we come up with guide marks of, okay, I need to get to this point. In this life, I need to get to this point and this point, and it'll be around this stage. But with free will, we at least have the choice of which road we're going to take to get there. But essentially, we're always going to get to the points we need to get to. And whether you take road A or road K is up to you. There's all these different roads and paths that you can choose to take, but your soul will essentially always lead you to the points, the big, major, main points of your life that you need to get to. And it would just be so much easier if people can just be open to this concept, because you choose these things, okay? And it's hard, of course, it's hard when you're in the moment, when you're dealing with something like a teen pregnancy, or you're dealing with sickness, and people have a hard time adjusting to this or adapting this to someone, like, say, who has cancer, okay? But they do choose this. Sometimes we come into this life and we say, okay, in this life I need to be not wealthy, I need to be poor, I need to learn how to live in that way, how to sustain myself, how to appreciate small things in life, like getting food and all of these things. And you may come back into the world again in another life and say, okay, this time around I'm going to be wealthy, and I'm going to have so much abundance, and I'm going to give this to everybody. And then you may come into the world again, into another life, and say, okay, this time around I need to experience sickness and what that feels like, and feel that struggle. And maybe that will inspire people to come up with new ways to heal certain sicknesses, right? And then you may come into another life, and that life you may be just super healthy, and you may be caring for people that are really ill. And then you come into another life. You see what I mean? We come into different lives on the earth for different purposes, and I believe that we come into lives and we do experience everything. So in this life right now, you can't blame yourself for where you are, and you can't blame anyone else for where they are, because they are exactly where they need to be. Their soul is learning exactly what they need to be learning in this life. So take a minute to just kind of let that idea soak in for a minute, because it's very simple, but at the same time, it just kind of makes sense in a way, don't you think? I don't know what you think, but for me, it just definitely makes sense. So, as much as we can feel bad for someone who is very ill, like someone who has cancer or some sort of terminal illness, of course we're going to feel bad. If we're humans. We have emotions. We're built to be compassionate and caring, and that's not a bad thing, and I'm not saying we shouldn't care for people, because we definitely should. But we have to understand that that's what their soul needs. At some level, their soul needs to experience that. And yes, it's very difficult to watch them go through something like that. But try to understand that that's what they chose. They were up there in the heavens or wherever, with Source, with Spirit, with the Divine, with God, with angels, whoever you want to refer to, before you came into creation again in this life. You were with all these masters, and you planned this out. This is exactly what I need to do in this life. Okay, I need to do this, this, and this. And that higher self is still with you today. There's still a part of you that knows what you need to be doing, that knows where you need to navigate, where you need to go, etc. So it's not like you completely lose it. It's just you have to get in tune with it, because it's still there, and we all still have that higher self. And some of us aren't even meant to be in tune with that in this life. For some of us, some people may be very young souls, and they've maybe only been through a couple of lives before this, and others, like myself, have probably been through way more lives and are ready to finally experience connecting with their higher self and saying, oh, okay, I understand, I remember my soul essence and everything that happened and what have you. Anyways, getting back to this whole feeling bad thing for people or for yourself, adapt this to a teen mother. For a teen mother, they likely came into this earth and said, okay, in this life, I need to learn how to nurture. I need to be a provider. I need to care. And it was set in their plan to have a child at a young age. And there's so much judgment from people. And that must be very difficult for them to deal with. But again, that's what that's meant for them in this life, to be put in that position. They were meant to, even though it may seem like a mistake or an accident, it wasn't. This is divinely planned. There is a soul that is waiting to come into the earth, and they chose that family. It may be a young family, maybe teenagers, and maybe, someone very young, or it may just be people that aren't very fortunate and don't have that much money. Their baby knows what they're getting into. Yes, again, we feel bad and we feel compassionate about this child that's coming into the earth, and oh, we want this child to have everything, and oh no, they're going to be thrown into this mess of a family or what have you. And that's what some people are kind of saying around, in my family right now. It's like, but you have to understand that this child that's going to be born, and that this soul that is coming into this body and is coming into this earth knows what it's doing. It knows what it's getting into. They're planning this all up there. That soul right now, or a couple months ago, was writing with all of these people up there saying, okay, I need to come into this earth and this is what I need to learn. I need maybe a more difficult life. Maybe I need parents that are young. They know what they need. They know what they're getting into. They know what family they chose this family for a reason. And this also affects the parents, right? The parents have planned this out too before they even were born. The parents said, okay, when I'm 16 or when I'm 18 or when I'm whatever age, we're going to come together and we're going to finally come together with another soul that's a baby, and we're going to be able to learn blah, 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 and it's going to be difficult and it's going to be a struggle, but that's what we need in order to get to the next point, which is blah, whatever, right? We all have our different plans, and yeah, so I just wanted to get that out there. I'm not saying don't care about people or don't be compassionate about people, but rather, this is more about becoming more caring and becoming more compassionate, but not in the typical way you would think. Not in the way of judging them and saying, that's not being... Isn't that funny? We think that we're being so caring and so compassionate about people as we judge them. And as we say, oh boy, you've got your work cut out for you. What were you thinking? Or, oh boy, you're really sick. What are you going to do? Oh no, you're going to die, blah, blah, blah. That's not being caring and compassionate to someone, to tell them all that's wrong or what their mistakes are, what they're doing wrong. Because it doesn't make them feel very good. And like I said, they are where they need to be. Everyone is where they need to be right now. And none of it's a mistake. None of it's just randomly happening as much as it can seem that way. This is all planned divinely and perfectly at the perfect time. And your soul, like I said, chose this. Your soul chose this life. Your soul chose your family, chose your struggles, chose where you are located in the world. This is all chosen. So just allow that to be, and this is a way to be more compassionate and to be truly more caring and truly and fully more loving to someone, is to recognize that they're going to be okay. Let them live their life. You don't need to judge them or yourself or compare your life circumstances to theirs or theirs to yours, because you are where you need to be. You're experiencing everything you need to be experiencing right now. And everything you have experienced up to this point is what you're meant to experience. And same for the other people. And whether they're dealing with a really bad illness, or they're having a family, or they're really not doing well financially, or what have you. It doesn't matter what the situation is. Whatever they're dealing with is what their soul needs to be dealing with. That's what they need to be learning in this life. So allow them to learn what they need to learn in this life, and allow yourself to learn what you need to learn. I invite you today to just kind of sit for a minute and to appreciate where you are, and to love where you are, and to appreciate where other people are and love where they are. And if you're not at the same point as someone, it doesn't matter. That's not the point. The point is not to be at the same level as everyone around you. Everyone has their own unique plan. So please try to be more loving and accepting, and just allow people to figure their lives out, because they will. And they are always protected and provided for by the divine, or source, or spirit, or God, or anyone you want to refer to. We're always provided for, and that goes for you as well. So just trust in that. Thank you for listening today. Stay tuned and stay open to new concepts and new ideas, and take what resonates with you, and whatever doesn't, you can just kind of let it go and forget about it. So enjoy your day, and we'll talk soon. Bye.